live in BK. I've been here since in the 90s, 91, and seen a lot of change out here. And then, so invited by Chris Gay, Focal Point. And I'll be honest, it was a Facebook thing, said, hey, join this. I don't have any expectations or knowledge on what this is. All I know is, I don't know, do all you guys know Chris? Is he typically here on the, okay. If Chris says do something, I do it. He's, yeah, very, very wise. So I follow Chris's recommendation. So that's why I'm here. I honestly don't really know what to expect. So thanks for letting me join.
Good. Awesome, Suzanne. Well, and you've already met Chelsea. So, hey, you know, that is a plus in my book any day. All right, Chelsea, you're next.
Hi, Chelsea Ward. I'm with Chelsea Ward Wellness. I'm a wellness practitioner. I have an online practice. I'm physically located in Burnet, Texas, but serve clients all over the United States and internationally. Preferences United States, though, of course. And I was invited by Miss Tricia Stetzel, and I will say that anything that Tricia Stetzel asked me to come to, I'm always here if I can be. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chelsea. All right, Stacy Dixon, we can't see you. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello, I'm here. My name is Stacy Dixon. I am an attorney. I own Dixon Law Firm, and my office is in the League City area of Houston. I focus primarily on family law. The reason you can't see me is because, as we spoke earlier, I have foster cat mom and kittens and had a bit of a cat explosion right before time to get on here. So I may disappear again because, yeah. Because things are happening around here. My puppy is here trying to destroy stuff also. I'm gonna go on mute and you won't see me, but I'm listening and soaking in the wisdom. And Trisha, you invited me.
Go ahead.
Can I request that we see the kittens? I really want to see the kittens.
I will do that in just a minute.
Oh, so awesome.
Okay, we'll let you bust in a minute, Stacy. All right, okay. Alex, you're next on the list.
Very good. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Valderay, and I am the founder and owner of Stride Strategic Group. I provide financial coaching and other aerospace related services to the community. I am located in a small town called Hickory Creek, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Trisha, you invited me to come to this meeting, and as the father of four daughters, I have discovered that my life is easier if I listen to the women in it. So that's why.
You know what? The next guy who introduces himself will actually absolutely agree with you, Mr. Robert Avidia.
Yes, Trisha, I will agree with you, Alex. Trisha is correct about that. But yeah, if you listen to the women in your life, I promise you life is so much easier. And I don't know why, but Trisha knows this, is I don't know why I'm always surrounded by women. A lot of women that just need, they're looking for something better, want to achieve what they want. And the thing is, I'm like, that's not even what I do, but I'll do it for you anyways. Let me see what I can do to help you. But my name is Robert Avitia. I am with Primerica, and what I do is I coach families with their finances, or individuals as well, to be able to show them how to be able to customize a program to help them achieve what they want based on their situation and what their goals are. I am located here in Houston, but I can work anywhere in North America, Canada included. And what I love about our new, I guess what you can say about the pandemic, what I love about it is that it's opened up new avenues. And so either you got caught up and got left behind, or you took advantage of the change to be able to get ahead. And what I love about it is that God surrounded me with great people to be able to get ahead. So Trisha invited me.
Thank you for being here, Robert. All right, Carol, you're next.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Carol Cavanis, and I'm the owner of Green Hawk Business Services, and I provide bookkeeping and profit strategies to small contractors and professionals in the green economy. I think this just came up as a suggestion on Eventbrite, and I'd been looking into mastermind groups, so I thought I'd check it out.
That's awesome, Carol. Thanks for showing up for us. Now, where are you physically located?
I'm sorry, I'm in Austin, Texas, but I run a virtual business. So like many of you, I can be anywhere.
That is wonderful. Wow, what a great group. So again, put your contact information in the chat window. I failed to mention that I will be recording this session, so watch your language. You can you can do whatever you want. I'm just letting you know that we're recording the session today. So definitely put your contact information in the chat window. And I'm actually going to turn over the activity to Mr. Dennis Stetzel to get us kicked off here. You're on mute. Mute.
There, that better? Okay.
Yes.
So just again, so just a little tone setting. This is not about the coaches, right? This is about us as a group kind of powering through whatever types of roadblocks we have. So the theme that Tricia sent out was the sprint to 2021. And then what are we doing, or our plan for 2021? Now we won't in 45 minutes get through building a plan. That's a much more long and drawn out type of activity. But I think what we want to try to draw out is, let's get either some key questions or some key roadblocks that seem reasonably universal and start talking through them. And I'll set the stage in this way. So we just had, when the pandemic started and when businesses started to change, we had to start to demonstrate some level of elasticity, resiliency, durability, things that we didn't have to do before. I just had the end of year debrief, or close to end of year debrief, with one of my key clients. And they 20% more in their customer base, 41% more in income, only increased their expenses by 17%, and they eliminated all their debt. Now, at the beginning, she had to make a decision. Do I just close up shop? And we get really, really distracted. The totality of everything that's happening, the politics that we see on TV, the civil unrest that we see, the racial tension, all of that stuff builds and builds and builds, and it creates an environment where you live in despair. But honestly, that doesn't have anything to do necessarily with your business, right? And so if you can sift through all that garbage and really focus on, what is it about my business that I need to take care of? Not what you should see on TV, not what the politics are telling you, not who are you going to vote for and what happens and what if. And so the conversation that we had was, well, what if you had to go on jury duty for 3 months? What if the business had to operate without you for 3 months? What if you couldn't be present? And that started a series of conversations, right? And so as we look at 2021 and the finish of 2020, how have we built elasticity, or how have we built durability into our own businesses? And then maybe someone can ask, or we can pose a question or pose a challenge. What are we struggling with to get to the end of 2020 successfully? Like, is there anything specific that anybody would like to throw out there that says, I'm really struggling with this, that I can use the collective knowledge of the team to help me resolve it? Everyone's doing great.
Yeah, everybody come off of
Everyone has a
mute.
plan? Oh. So what's the biggest challenge in closing out 2020? Like, what's one goal or one item that, just if you could wave a magic wand and make it go away, it would go away and you would end 2020 on that high note?
All right, so I'm going to open it up. One of the things that I'm struggling with this year, so my business has been overwhelmingly busy and good. And moving into October, we really had a lot of forward motion. I found coming out of October into November that everyone's gone to sleep. I feel like the people that I would normally work with have just gone to sleep and said, you know what, it's the end of the year and I'm not going to do anything until January. Is anybody else feeling that?
Okay. So how are you doing anything, Chelsea, to maybe try to energize that customer base?
I think I was, yeah. I think, if I said my issue is the same as Trisha, I think that I was. And I think where I'm almost struggling in that personally is the fact that I have seen so much growth that I've had to bring people in and onboard new people to help me. So I've kind of had to shift gears into training mode. And I've brought in 3 virtual assistants, and I'm thinking, why the heck did I bring in 3? I should have probably just brought in 1, but it's like I'm an overachiever in every area of my life, to a fault. And I think now I've had to shift and not be able to focus on growing my business as much, the way that I was, because I'm trying to train someone else to almost take my place in these other areas, oversee everything that they're doing. So it's like I see the potential for my time to be managed better by delegating, but it's almost like I'm still serving clients and now I'm trying to delegate. So that middle piece where I would need to focus more time on really honing in on those people who I know need my program right now. I just, I know the sales are the life of our business, but I feel like it just can't be my main focus right now.
Okay. And so how does that feed 2021? What does that mean for you in terms of planning for 2021?
I think I need to find a way probably to do all 3, because I feel like going into 2021, what I see in my business personally, and you guys may see this, is if I'm in people's face with advertising and whatever, and that means different things to all of us, I know, but as long as I'm in front of people, my quarter right now sets me up for my next quarter. So to answer your question, I'm probably sabotaging almost my first quarter of 2021 if I don't do something currently to ramp up that right now.
So does anybody else have their 2021 plan in place?
I'll talk. I'm a little bit different because we do insurance, property casualty insurance. So, home auto business, there's a need for that, whether the economy is good, whether it's bad, whatever the month it is, people still renew between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So Christmas slows down a little bit. We're getting into a slower season as well. But through COVID, there were a lot of people, whether they were already clients or folks coming from other, agents that wanted to look at every dollar they were spending, all their fixed costs, and cut some costs, whether it was in the household or in the business. So, we've done a lot of quoting this year. We've done a lot of quoting our existing clients too, which is not income producing. That's already in-house. And if anything, we switched them maybe to another carrier that was doing better and the rates were lower. So we've been super, super busy, do have new business. But I think ongoing, even aside from COVID, my challenge as a producer in an insurance office is how do I compete with the 1,000 other agents, with different agencies and different carriers that are out there, and set myself apart. And that's really, I guess, why I'm here today. And I'm sorry, that's not your question at all. We've been able to work virtually. We take information over the phone. A lot of times I don't even meet my clients face to face in the normal world. So, the whole virtual thing is not new to us. We're just having to, people start coming back into the office and want to do face-to-face meetings, but that's not necessary. So, I don't want to say we didn't have a COVID challenge, because we all had a COVID challenge, and, had one of my businesses did have to close their doors and go out of business, and that's heartbreaking. We had to lose that client, she had to lose her business. But, I'm just kind of in general looking for how do I set myself apart from a crowd that's got quite a few individuals in it.
That's good.
Now, Robert, you're in that same type of, where there's lots and lots of people, doing, if you just write it down on paper, there's lots of people doing what you do, but you guys seem to set yourself apart pretty well. How do you draw that differentiator? And you bring other people in, and as they come in, they seem to be like anyone that I've met in your office, they seem to carry something unique. So how do you drive that with your, within yourself and within your team?
Well, honestly, what it is more than anything, Dennis, is being that I'm part of some of these programs. In the last 3 years, I've transformed a lot. And it all came back down to my own self-development. So prior to the pandemic, more than anything, I had been self-developing already for 2 years. And so this year, when it came into it, what it was is I had already changed the way I thought of being very pessimistic and not even optimistic, but more opportunistic now. And so I changed the way I thought that when this came in, I said, okay, forget about the glass being half full or half empty. What's my opportunity here? Because self-development is probably the most keyest thing. See, we when we're uncertain, we won't act out of pure fear of not knowing, because our brain's meant and it's designed to protect us from death, right? So when there's no certainty, it's not going to act. Well, you got to self-develop yourself to change the way you think, so that way, no matter what's going on, you act anyways. And what I've found out is when you get into nitty-gritty with people and start developing people and start talking to them, and you help them overcome their fear by, number one, finding out what it is, right? What are they uncertain about? What is their mind holding them back to? Because it's not them consciously doing it, it's a subconscious thought. And then number two is developing that ability so that way they overcome whatever it is, and then they can go do whatever it is they want. The thing with my business, and that's the thing with my business, I'm okay that if I bring somebody on board and I'm self-developing them and they go, Robert, I really don't want to do this. Well, great. What do you want to do? And it's amazing how many relationships I have with people outside. Like just this morning, I had a guy text me. He says, Robert, hey, good morning. And I had sent him a picture of him graduating 3 years ago. And he sent me a message today. He says, hey, good morning. Just thinking of you. Thank you for sending me that picture. Now that right there is because he said, everything I've learned from you, what you taught me where you're at, has helped me be better where I'm at today. And I'm so thankful and grateful that our paths cross. So self-development was really the key thing for me, of learning how to control my thoughts, how to change my subconscious programming, so that way I made better decisions, because 95% of our decisions are made about what we're conditioned to think. And so the pandemic hit, and immediately I saw the difference between me and some other people. And I go, is that you are still stuck with your old thinking? I changed the way I thought. And so, yeah, Suzette, it's heartbreaking to see some of the things that have happened, but we got to see that as an opportunity. Okay, how can I capitalize on this? Some things aren't, things are never going to go our way, but we can choose how to react to what happens. So it's self-development, Dennis, more than anything, just continuing self-development. You can't stop. It never ends.
When you hire if I could ask you one more question, when you do the hiring, are you hiring for attitude or skills?
Neither.
Okay.
Because there's people that want it, there's people that need it. Everybody needs help with their finances, right? But not everybody wants it. Not everybody wants it. So when I hire people, what I look at more than anything when I hire people is, do you want it? If they want it, come on. And I'll invest some time into you. But you're going to tell me pretty quick within 7 days whether I should invest more time into you, or, you know what, you acted out of it was all excitement, or if you're really real about wanting to change your life. And then at that point, I know where to invest my time with, because I think the biggest loss with people, or the biggest, where people lose most of their money, is not ability. It's who are you investing your time with? Because everybody has the same amount of time every day, but who are you spending it with? Are you spending it with people that truly want the help so that way they can get better? Or are you spending it with people that no matter what you tell them, what you show them, what you do for them, they'll never get better? So how are you investing your time?
I'd like to kind of expand on that, because what I took from Suzanne's comment was, how do I stand out from the crowd? And the first thing that popped into my brain was personal branding. And personal branding meaning, who are you? What are you putting forward that makes you different from everyone else who's doing what you're doing? And I think somebody who does that very well is Chelsea Ward. Chelsea, there are so many people in the wellness space out there that can do exactly what Chelsea does. But the way I see Chelsea branding herself personally makes me want to use her services, right? So there's a million people out there doing exactly what she's doing, but she's letting us in and showing us who she is. So Chelsea, do you want to talk a little bit about that, like personal branding and the way you're setting yourself apart from the million other wellness coaches out there?
Sure. So I feel like for me, it really came to, I'll go back on what Robert said, personal development, but I feel like it really got to become me getting to know who I wanted to serve and who needed my services the most, and who was actually going to be people that I wanted to connect with. So, and I think that comes down to knowing not only who you want to serve, but who you don't want to serve, and being okay with not serving the community that you don't want to serve. And I think another piece of that is really just speaking your authentic self. Once you determine who you want to serve and who you don't want to serve, then the message comes down to attracting that person through what you say. For instance, I don't want to serve someone who's going to halfway give me their time and energy and commitment to my program. I need you to be all in, or I need you to not communicate with me. I don't want to serve someone who's not willing to financially invest in the things that I tell you is needed for your health. So just giving you those two examples, my marketing speaks directly to those people. I'm going to turn a lot of people off because I talk about time and commitment and money and energy and all those things. If I'm speaking to the right person who may feel a little convicted about not giving effort in those areas and thinking, oh my God, she's talking to me, I'm not committing time, I'm not committing energy, I'm not committing money. Is that really all I have to do to build a life of health? What if I do invest in this person, and I invest in myself, and I invest my time, my energy, and my money? Am I going to get the results that I'm looking for? So that's the person that I end up speaking to, the person that hears my messages and thinks, oh my God, what if? Now, the other person on the other end is going to say, all she wants is my money. She thinks that, she's got enough time. She's sitting on her butt at home all day long, not doing anything because she owns her own business. Of course, she has plenty of time, right? So there's two sides of that. But your message has to be almost controversial so that you attract the people that you truly want to work with. And you're going to attract your ideal client that way. You're going to attract the people who really resonate with your message and are going to do exactly what you say because they truly believe in what you have to offer. And you're going to be so confident in that message, just sharing it, because that is truly who you are. That is what you believe at your core. And if I've done anything differently in the past year, it has really been to determine who I am at my core, who I want the world to see me as, and just be able to display myself authentically to the world, knowing that when I do that, my tribe is going to find me because they're going to resonate with that message. So, and to me, it's just truly being who you are.
Awesome. I appreciate that so much. We do a lot of insurance and we have all the carriers out there, but we don't want everybody as a client. I want the higher value homes, the people that have assets that they want to protect. They understand the importance of insurance and they actually want it. I don't want the ones that say, you know what, I've got a business and I have to get insurance for my lease. I don't really believe in it, but I've got to get it. So can you help me? That's not who I want. And that's exactly what you said. So thank you for that.
Sure. So share that message and say, I'm looking for people who really believe that insurance is here to work for you. Those are the people that I want to connect with. Are you that business owner? Are you that homeowner? And that's your message. It's very clear. Yeah.
It all goes back to relationships. That's what I'm hearing. Relationships. It's not a rotating door of clients, but it's relationships that I build with my clients.
Yeah.
Tony, I saw you join.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Aaron, how does personal branding and going into 2021, how does that any resonating statements or positions from you?
Yes, I heard Robert talk about personal development, and I feel that's some ongoing thing. Always trying to develop more and improve myself. For my business with TXUNG, it's about And Trista said something this morning, like, she said, you might feel, you want to wait until 2021, not do anything, just wait for this year to be over. But in my business, it's important to, just have a pipeline and build a pipeline. And so that every month, even during COVID, before COVID, I was building a pipeline. And so I was able to call on those people. And, even when you couldn't go door to door anymore, I was able to use, referral networking to help keep my business going, and that's just testament to every day, every week, even through BNI, you have to meet, you have to talk to people, you have to, it force you to keep on building your pipeline every day, every week. And so, COVID did affect going in, meeting like new people door to door, but it didn't affect the pipeline that I have and the relationships that I had built before. And so I was able to capitalize on those. And like Robert said, you look for the opportunity. What new opportunities are there, considering COVID and what it's causing. And it was causing a lot of business owners to move out, or move locations. It also had business owners that got loans and were looking to, maybe expand or move. And so, you had to kind of look at the glass, half full, and see, based on opportunities, based on the new opportunities that were created, you kind of work with that. And that's why I'm going to try to proceed into 2021 as well, ensuring that, I don't or be discouraged by 2020, but, keep building those relationships, keep building those pipelines, keep, doing referral and marketing and networking to keep my business going.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for pulling that out, Tony, from this morning. The longer we sit on our butts and we're not sourcing and looking and talking to people, the harder it's going to be to get started, right? So if we give up now, 2021, the whole first quarter is a wash, right? Because we're going to spend first quarter doing that stuff. So Carol, I'm curious, because I know you said that you were looking for a mastermind group. So talk to us. What would you like to draw out of this group today?
Sure. Well, I have some definite goals for the end of 2020, and I guess I haven't thought that much about 2021 because, like a lot of people, I'm just kind of done with 2020, but it's not done with me. So so my goals, I'm like in the first year of business, been in business about a year and a half, and built about a clientele of about 10 people. And some of them were pretty large bookkeeping cleanups that I'm trying to get finished by the end of the year. So it's a lot of nose to the grindstone, kind of working through a lot of details. But at the same time, I'm working on my Profit First certification. And I'm halfway through that with 3 betas. So I'm also trying to get that finished so that I can really launch that at the beginning of 2021. Some of the things I struggle with are like getting VAs online. I don't have the support yet. So it's like relinquishing some control and getting some help so that I can complete what I need to complete and move on to higher level coaching and advising for my clients. And I really liked what Chelsea said about being controversial. The clients I've taken have been broader than what I originally hoped for. I built my business based on the green economy and green and environmental companies. And my focus is to, give part of my profits to green charities on a quarterly basis. And I've strayed away from that a little bit. So just to focus back in on my branding and my, my target audience is part of the transition I'm making this quarter and next.
I love that.
So if I could, let me make just one observation then. So we've kind of gone around the room, and I know Stacy's dealing with a cat emergency, so we won't bother her necessarily, call her out. But every year about this time, we start to talk about how are we going to finish off the year and how are we going to start our new year.
Mhm.
It sounds the same. COVID schmovid, the same conversation that you had in 2019 going into 2020, if we were just to eliminate from our vocabulary COVID, pandemic, lockdown, etc., it would be the same conversation. We would still be looking at how are we going to finish off our year strong? Well, we got to power through the holidays. People are starting to step away. If I don't build my business through or maintain my business through the holidays, January is going to be horrible. And if January is horrible, then the first quarter is going to be bad. And then that bad first quarter kind of carries into the second quarter. And because I was scrambling to make up time in January, February, things fell behind. And then you start, well, did I build a plan? Well, I couldn't really build a plan because things were uncertain. Next year is no more uncertain than 2020 was. And 2020 was actually no more uncertain, in my observation, than 2019 was. It's filled with uncertainty, right? It's who are you carrying with you? How are you carrying it forward? Do you have a plan? Who's holding you accountable to your plan? And then when it comes to sales, that's not changed either. It's the 3 C's of sales. It's competence, confidence, and charisma. And whether we're doing it in a COVID environment or we're doing it in a non-COVID, that hasn't changed either, right? So, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And so in the midst of all this noise, my observation, just based on what we've talked about so far, the background settings are a little bit different, but the business challenge in front of us kind of remains the same. The question becomes, how adaptable are we? How resilient are we? How durable are we going into the next year? Have we learned anything? How do we do, small incremental changes that don't take us too far, lock us in to too much, because maybe we'll have to go back to jury duty for 3 months. What's our business going to do without us for 3 months when we get recalled? When we have to, sit locked away in a jury room, sequestered because there's a major case that you're not going to be able to participate, or you're not going to be able to participate in the way that you're used to. So as far as resilience goes, then has anybody seen like resilience built into their business? And how have you done it?
I've definitely seen resilience built into my business. And what it comes down to is, understanding what people are going through and just keep following up, because in my business, I get a lot of no's, a lot of people are very apprehensive to do anything about the electricity right now. They're even unsure if they're going to be in business next month, So it really comes down to emotional intelligence and, just understanding and keep following up, not getting discouraged, understanding that a lot of people are going through what you're going through, and, just building that mental toughness and emotional toughness to keep grinding. Like someone said, putting their nose to the grindstone, every day, day in, day out. And even if, you can get discouraged, but just allot 2 hours or 3 hours in the day, that you're going to power through it. And it's better than thinking that you're going to be doing it all day. If you say you're going to put 3 hours towards it or 4 hours towards it and separate it, do little things in between that make you feel better or, kind of lift your spirits, like I'll stop every now and again and look at some, sports videos or whatever it is, just to keep my spirits up. And, but yeah, 2020 has definitely taught taught you how to be more resilient in business and built a lot of character in me personally. That's all I got.
I think one of the things is you got to know that there's always a solution, but you got to use your resources, and building strong relationships with people from different industries, different backgrounds, different everything allows you to use those resources to help you overcome. But the life we're living today is based on the decisions we made yesterday. And so everything you do today is going to affect your tomorrow, and you got to know that. And you just got to be resilient. The fact that if you get up every day and you're grateful, just be grateful. You'll overcome anything, because then you'll realize, man, I got it so good. No matter how bad, it's still so good compared to what I couldn't have, you know? So you got to be grateful. When you live grateful, I mean, it's incredible how you're able to bounce back so much faster.
You triggered a thought, Robert, when you started that, and that was all about I'm a big believer in future-based language. They always use future-based language. And there's a book called 3 Laws of Performance. It's an amazing book. It's kind of a tough read, but it's a great book. And if you were to summarize that particular book, I think in 3 questions or 3 statements, when you encounter that impossible situation, right? Or someone presents you with the impossible situation, you say, I know it's impossible. I know it's impossible. So acknowledge the fact that it's impossible. But if you could open up the door to the future, how would you do it? Right? But you first have to acknowledge that what you're perceiving is this impossible situation. But to your point, right, you just got to keep going and not take a no for an answer. So using that future, so what am I going to do next? This is impossible, but what am I going to do next? So if I could, how would I do it? And that starts to open the door. You know, your mind starts to open the door to say, well, gosh, if I could, well, these are the roadblocks that I need to eliminate. And suddenly that impossible situation, your brain unlocks and starts to see that, well, actually I could if these 3 things were eliminated, if these 3 roadblocks went away. So how do I tackle those one at a time? Right? It's just that every morning, every day, every hour, and you don't have to solve it by yourself, right? There are other people in your industry who may have solved it, or people in other industries who may have solved it. Collectively, like one of our friends, I won't forget, at the beginning of all of it, he was really struggling with how he was going to pivot his business. And one of the bankers said, it's right in front of you. He was a printer. He could not see that there was an amazing opportunity in front of him by creating backdrops for people that were working at home. He was the printer. It took a banker to say, did you see what they've got in their background? You should be marketing that. You should be marketing it like it's a cure for cancer, right? But that comes from someone else. Sometimes we in our own industries and our own groups, we can't see that. So, you know, I know it's impossible. I know you can't, but if you could, how would you do it? And that really opens the door to that future-based language and looking to the future as opposed to what's kind of dragging you down. That's been my observation.
So Trisha, I know I said that I would be silent, but if you don't mind, I'd like to comment. Thank you. So strategy and strategic implementation has been something that I studied quite a bit during my days at Penn State, and some of my professors in that area are world experts and renowned world experts. So on the theme of strategy, although the world, I think, as Dennis pointed out, is ever changing, has always been, will always be, change in and of itself doesn't have to mean that you change. So within your respective organizations, depending upon the market that you choose to serve, you have to have a mechanism in your business that ascertains what a change object is for you. So there could be a change in the world, but that change may or may not necessarily affect who you do business with or how you do business. So everybody's business is different. You have to have a mechanism to assess what is that critical change in my environment, which includes my competitors or my suppliers or my buyers or my substitutes or new entrants. So that's Porter's 5 forces. What are those changes that are critical to my business that force me to be introspective and change the way I do things? And that is critical.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Mhm.
So Troy, I know we skipped over you as well. Do you have something to add here to the conversation?
I really like what Robert said. It's really the key to, if you think about the sigmoid curve, right? You know, you think about how many businesses go through learning phase and then the growth phase. And I love what Robert said, because if you don't have the mindset of reinvention, you know, I come from 31 years in the corporate world, traveling the globe, and you have to constantly change and adapt and equip yourself. I like what Robert was saying. So how do you stay ahead of that curve? How do you remain adaptable to change? And Zoom is a good example. You know, I love face-to-face, and just came from a BNI type event where we finally got to do that, kind of. And but how do you re-equip? How do you come up with, I love the example that Dennis talked about, the printer. How do you reimagine? You know, what about e-commerce today? I mean, you know, the mom and pop shops are coming up with creative ways of how do we get our product or service to our clientele? You know, how do we think differently about transportation, shipping, delivering, getting that product out there? So to me, I really resonated a couple of things with me. One is it's all about relationships. It's all about people. It's all about adaptability and learning how to change. Traveling around the world, and I have friends all over the globe, I learned very quickly that I learn the fastest when I'm uncomfortable. So how do you take that energy of learning to be profitable, being successful, and reinventing your business simply because, yeah, the environment's changed. But I love what Dennis said, is that it's all changed. Yeah, that's true, but we still have to plan for 2021, because every year we go into a new year with unknowns. So how do you equip? How do you make sure you're on the forefront of what's needed today? What do I need? What levers do I need to change in order to be successful in this new environment? And so reinvention to me comes to mind in that sigmoid curve. You either die due to the fact you're not reinventing, or you literally reinvent and recreate your destiny. So thank you, Tricia.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacy, are we ever going to get a video of these cats, these kittens? So just Suzanne, just as a side note, Stacy took on this mama cat and kittens, and then there was this little singleton that didn't belong to the litter that she's actually introduced to the mom, and the mom is taking care of this little singleton as well. So she's got 5 kittens.
On top of my other, I own 3 dogs of my own. I am one of those crazy people. Okay, I'm back. Mama is feeding them. Let me see if I can get Mama feeding. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, there's.
And here's the little singleton who
that's
she
precious.
adopted.
Oh my gosh, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny.
So pretty.
Okay.
Thank you for
friends.
sharing, Stacy.
So cute.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So
Sure.
I feel like this has been a really good first session with a great group of people. We would love for you guys to join as often as you can and even grow this group and continue to expand on the topics that we started today. And it really is about helping each other and building relationships with people that you may not have been able to meet before. Carol found us through Eventbrite, which is amazing. We're so glad you're here. We wouldn't have met her if I hadn't put this event out there, right? And everybody wants to know a good bookkeeper, and especially one that's giving back, right? I think that's amazing. So we're so glad that you were with us today. The next, we're going to have these mastermind sessions the second Thursday of every month. So we'll be meeting again on December 10th. It will always be from 12 to 1. If you guys don't mind, I'll just shoot a note out to those of you who signed up through Eventbrite, just to remind you of the date for next month. I wanted to, Dennis, do you have some parting words? I kind of have a challenge for people as we leave the meeting today. So if you want to wrap up what you've got over there.
Yeah, this year is no different than last year, right? The sprint to 2020 and the sprint to 2019, it's the same, the sprint to 2021. Don't let your funnel dry up. Don't write this year off just because it's been hard. Don't write this year off just because we had some series of events and unrest in lots of different places that we didn't expect. The sprint is still a sprint. It should be no different this year than it was any other year, and start strong in 2021. The fundamentals are the same. The context around running your business, driving your business, growing your business, 41% increase, eliminated all the debt. That happened in the year of COVID, and 2021 should look the same. So for those, don't let this drag you down. It's just another year, and it's your business, and you're the one who makes it happen.
Yeah, and sprint to the finish. Don't give up, right? We still, by the way, we still have several weeks left in this year. And if you haven't written down the 3 things that you want to get done before the end of the year, you should, and you should look at them every day so that you can accomplish those things by the end of 2020. And one of those things should be putting your plan together for 2021. Don't wait until January, because then you can't execute on that plan until April, generally speaking, right? So start on it now, get that plan together. So here's what I'm going to challenge you guys with. I'm going to ask you to really create a vision of your business for 2021 in your mind. What does it look like? Whatever that vision is, write it down, put it in a picture, whatever works for you. So that's your future point. Then I want you to visualize where you're at today, which is your point A, right? What are you doing today? What does it look like today? Thinking about what you want it to look like in the future, and start listing the roadblocks that are in the way of you getting to that vision that you have for your business in 2021, and bring those roadblocks to this discussion next month, and bring your friends, and let's really concentrate on what are the things that are getting in your way of your vision for 2021 for your business, and how can we collectively help remove some of those roadblocks in the way of your success. So we've got about 3 minutes left. Does anybody have anything that is some burning word, sentence, a question that you want to pose to the group?
I do.
Go for it.
I would like to hear everyone state one action item that they're going to take from this meeting. I think that would kind of be a cool way to end.
Thank you, Chelsea.
I'm a
You wanna
coach.
Go first.
Huh?
Go first.
Yes, I would love to. My action item is that I'm going to be more direct with outreach to one-to-one individuals who have shown interest or may be interested in my program, to try to obtain new clients, because that's the goal. That's one of my biggest goals when I came into this meeting. So I'm going to end taking action on it.
I love that. Thank you, Chelsea. Who's next?
I'm going to list the roadblocks in my business and come up with intuitive ways to overcome them.
I love it. Thank you, Tony. Who else?
In my local social media advertising asks, I'm going to be more direct about, instead of saying, which is true, instead of saying we can literally help everybody, we don't really literally say that, but putting us out there to where we're insurers for the masses. We can, we have everything to target those upper tier preferred individuals that we really are looking for.
Love that. Thank you, Suzanne. All right, Robert, Carol.
I'm committed to making the vision for next year, and I'm covering roadblocks and a plan around them. I think that's a good exercise.
Great, thank you. Robert?
Continuing to work on removing emotion from my business decisions.
That's a good one. Absolutely. Chelsea, thank you for bringing that up. And I think that that should be part of this meeting. I love that. This is really about you. You know, when Dennis opened today, he said, this is not about the coaches. It's about the group. It's about the collective effort of all of us helping each other. That's what this mastermind is for. And I hope that you guys will come back and join us next month. Bring people you know. If you can't come every month, that's okay. But we would love to have you and people that you know that you think would benefit from a collaborative effort of us all being successful together. I hope you guys have an amazing day and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next month.
Same
See
here.
you guys.